My 25F coworker, 40 M, told people that he was my son's 9mo father. I'm one of only 3 women at my job, and the only one under the age of 35, and I get a lot of unwanted attention from a man who I think is about the age of my own father. He has been reported to HR for his behavior towards me and other employees many times, and after this event unfolded, he has been suspended. HR is doing an investigation which is basically just asking me a ton of questions about how he's been treating me since I started working there, and I really hope this is the straw that gets him fired. In March, I lost my job. Couldn't apply for unemployment. I was out of work for 3 months and then got a job with a new company in June. Coworker I'll call Steve was already an employee when I started working there. He helped me with some training, and already other coworkers were telling me to be wary of him. He's not a sexual creep, but he seems to think we're best friends and asks way too many personal questions, as well as teasing me about my age/gender/ethnicity and just being a classic R most of the time. I'm sure everyone has worked with someone like this. My son's father is a guy I've known since high school. We are not and have never been in an actual relationship. He has full custody, and he's allowed to decide when I get to see our baby. Right now he has no issue with letting me take baby when I ask, so I've gotten into a routine of picking him up on my days off work. I am doing my best to be a parent, but I am so scared one day I'll mess up and his father decides I can't see him anymore. I have not told his father about this situation yet for that reason. So, here's what happened. Monday, yesterday, I had the day off and decided to take baby grocery shopping at the store where I work, which I have never done before. I introduce him to my coworkers as my son. Obviously this is the first time they've ever met him. I guess I don't talk about him enough because I don't interact with him very often. This morning, first thing as I clock in, a coworker tells me that Steve told her that he's my son's father. I did not get it. Apparently he told everyone in our department that the baby I brought into work last week was mine and his, and my coworker told me because she thought it was fishy. I think she misheard and asked another coworker, who confirms he heard it too, but didn't believe it either, and then to my supervisor. I honestly have never been more angry and upset in my life. Supervisor calls HR, who gets the story from me and the coworker who told me, and then half an hour later I'm told that Steve has been suspended and they'll have a meeting with the department about inappropriate gossip. I feel like I messed up hugely even though it's not my fault. I know this is something I should tell my son's father because it's a huge deal and I worry about baby's safety. I don't want it to come up later or for his father to put restrictions if he finds out on his own. I also just don't feel comfortable taking out baby in public anymore. I have absolutely no idea what to do. Should I tell his dad now, or wait until this blows over, or just pretend it never happened? Oh, that's fucking gross. Do not let this shit go. I've worked with creepy assholes before. The first time it happened, I tried to blow it off and let it slide, and it ended up escalating a lot and nothing being done to the guy. More recently, I had a different creepy coworker say increasingly gross things to me, and I meticulously documented everything and reported it with a casual. My friend who is an employment lawyer told me to make sure to mention \_____ or something like that as a subtle way of saying if you don't handle this inside the company, I'll handle it outside the company. Because HR exists to protect the company, not you. Be very careful. Tell your son's father, absolutely, but carefully make sure he knows what's up in case he gets any weird questions, but also make sure he doesn't get involved and make things worse. He shouldn't contact anybody at your work, including creepy asshole, but he should be ready in case anybody contacts him first. Report. There was a dude at my own work who seemed sane until he started stalking me. Me mid-20s, him mid-40s. I tried more and more to keep him just at an arm's length because he was nice and the rumors going round that he was actually the father of my baby were so insane that nobody would believe it. Right? No, my baby was stillborn, and when I gently but firmly told him to actually fuck right off so my boyfriend and I could grieve, he lost his fucking mind. mind. Told work he needed time off because of my baby. And that's all the proof my co-workers and managers needed to conclude that he was the father, which destroyed my professional reputation. Destroyed every friendship at work I had too, because his grief was so genuine. Report this fucking asshole, before he destroys you. I think you could tell him and start the story with, "There's a person at work who has been harassing me and other women." He will probably want to know what, if any, access Steve has to your personal information, etc. It's not your fault at all. It has got a serious problem. You started at this place 5 months ago and had never met the guy prior. That's the quickest pregnancy ever. It's good that your co-workers are smart enough to realize the math doesn't add up and supported you reporting it. Tell the father so he can be aware of any potential issues and keep an eye out for Steve. Tell the dad. Make it clear that this at work thought this inappropriate nonsense would be a great joke and that you are pursuing proper redress through HR. Don't let him find out from someone else. Offer to show him the HR paperwork if he wants to confirm what happened. You did right by reporting it. Also write down any other inappropriate behavior you remember from this hour. You didn't get him in trouble. He got himself in trouble. None of this is your fault. You have the right to work in a safe environment free from this type of behavior. Death says you probably need some relaxing kitty petting. My wife, 28F, recently changed her political views significantly and it's negatively affecting our relationship and kids, 30M. Help me navigate what to do. Throw away as my wife knows my real Reddit username. Thanks in advance for the help. We've been married for 3 years now and she's never been political. Once we had our second child, about a year ago, she started getting really into reading mommy blogs and social media posts about the potential harms of vaccines. I listened to her, haven't made my own stance on it yet. I'll admit I'm not as passionate about the subject as her, so I haven't done much research, and empathized with the regret she was feeling about vaccinating our kids, and hoped that she would kind of leave it at that. Well, she hasn't. She's only gone deeper into the rabbit hole and all she talks about now is negativity about the government and what they're doing to deceive us. The vaccine blogs turned into interest in child trafficking, then QAnon conspiracies, and now so close to the election she's admitted that her apolitical stance has now shifted into one that's pro-Republican and pro-Trump. I majored in political science so I know all the strategies both sides are taking to try and sway the swing state we live in. I'm anti-Trump, not super supportive of Biden, but agree more on his priorities/points that 45, and will not be voting for him, and she's expressed her unhappiness about it. I'm choosing to respect her opinion as I feel she's entitled to it, but now she gets angry with me anytime I disagree or provide evidence that refutes her position, citing fake news, echo chamber, all that. I've tried to tell her what she's doing is also in the realms of an echo chamber but claims her sources are more credible and refuses to back down. At this point, I don't even want to talk politics anymore, but she keeps telling me that's not an option because it's not about politics, it's about our kids. Honestly, I'm at my wit's end and we're fighting about this so often, even when I've asked her to respect my opinion. Any thoughts or others who are in the same position? You absolutely do not need to respect her opinion when it's putting your children in danger. As a nurse, this upsets me. Measles is raging in California and polio could come back if we stop vaccinating. Honestly, science is real and COVID is real and vaccines save lives. Smallpox is gone. I just don't understand why people want to go back in time medically. She needs to read reliable sources, not crazy people screaming conspiracy theories. I would suggest therapy and reputable medical journals from around the world. There is a subreddit just for people dealing with family going to conspiracy stuff, /r/QAnon casualties/ Oh wow. This is a treasure trove. Thank you, I'm going to take a look. Seek counseling. That's the only way to have a third party that isn't going to judge you both and give you real professional advice if your wife is being unreasonable. In my eyes, yes, she is, but that is my opinion. I grew up in a family of people who work in medical fields, and it's such a slap in the face to think that these mommy blogs know more than someone who went to school for what they do. Considered counseling. We've had fights about other things aside from politics, lol, but unfortunately my wife isn't up to it. Don't necessarily think it's a matter of believing in counseling, but she's rather insecure, and I don't think she's at a point where she's ready to chat about things with a professional. The thing that frustrates me most about the vaccine conversation is that she is a medical professional herself, and now she's getting caught up in so much disinformation, IMO, that it's going to be hard to parent when we have differing views, especially when it comes to our children's current and future health. So I haven't done much research. Your wife hasn't done any research. She has used Google and blogs to find pseudoscientific stuff that sounds truthy. You should go with your kids to their next doctor appointment and ask the pediatrician what he thinks. Doctors don't know everything, but I would trust a doctor over a random conspiracy website. Think you could try couples counseling for the rest of it. Hopefully that can help you all communicate without her automatically trying to shut you down. Hopefully she's not too far gone to work with you. My 22F, X, 24 meters, and his sister, 22F, are being harassed by my parents. Do I help them? My parents were extremely abusive. The nicest thing they ever did for me was letting me move out at 16, and even then they only agreed under duress. However, they were still harassing me, so at 18 I changed my name and moved as far away from my hometown as I could. They also made my birthday, which was the 4th, genuinely traumatic, to such an extent that on 4th October each year I have a therapy appointment, and that's basically all I am capable of doing on that day. When I turned 19 I said I didn't want a party, but my friend at the time decided I didn't really mean that and threw me a surprise party. So from then on I told people that the date on my name change certificate, the 20th, was my birthday, even though I still have to use the 4th on formal documents. I know lying about my birthday is weird, but after the surprise party I didn't want to risk it. Shortly after my 19th, I met Jack and Jill, who were siblings and roommates. Jill and I were friends first, then through her I met Jack, and Jack and I began dating 6 months ago. They weren't involved in the party, so I was able to tell them my birthday was the 20th, and hid the real date. I told them about 80% of the abuse I went through growing up. However, they had a good home life with loving parents, and I could see them struggling to comprehend the reality of what I was saying, so I held off on telling them the worst bits until I was sure they'd believe me, and never told them my real name/birthday. On the 4th, Mum messaged me. She should not have been able to do this, as I completely restarted my social media with my new name and fake birthday, and blocked all my relatives, so she's made an account just for this. She sent happy birthday, old name / along with a lengthy message full of her typical bullshit about how it's been years since she heard from me, written as if she has no idea why that is. Jack saw the start of the message and began demanding answers that I said wasn't ready to give, and asked if we could drop it. He got Jill in on it, and they both kept asking questions, so I left. By the next day, I found out that they had contacted my mother to get her side of the story, and they criticized me for removing my parents from my life and said I should give them another chance. I then broke up with Jack and told Jill we weren't friends anymore. It's been about a week, and my parents have been harassing Jack and Jill this whole time, demanding my contact info and address. Good news is, I moved at the start of September, and they've not been to my new place yet, so they can't give my address as they genuinely don't know it, and I've blocked them all, Jack, Jill, parents, on social media. I don't know what to do. I kind of feel like they brought this on themselves, to be honest, and if I step in then I'd be opening the door to my parents, even if it's just a crack. Jack and Jill have been messaging our mutual friends about it, saying I've left them in the lurch, which I kind of have, and they want me to fix this by speaking to my parents, who say that if we can just have a conversation then they'll leave us all alone. What do I do? Should I talk to Mum and Dad to get rid of them, or just leave Jack and Jill to fend for themselves?